Goobers.
The Goober Troopers.
Like a Goober Trooper.
Find a Corey Feldman. There is Josh Brolin in his debut film.
Good
We
to go?
got the Sean Astin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for Term 4 of 5th Period, the film podcast hosted by two media teachers, where today we are delving into the legend of One-Eyed Willie with a whole pirate ship's worth of goofiness. My name is Mr. Brown, and with me as always is...
One-Eyed Boylan, just straight up.
Oh my god, One-Eyed Boylan with your closed-over eye socket.
Yeah. Well,
What is that about?
I don't know.
He's supposed to have one eye, but once you're a skeleton, it would look the same.
Looks cooler.
Yeah. Anyway, in addition to our main discussion of the Goonies today, we will also be chatting about some holiday weekly watches. So if you want to skip ahead to that, I will leave time codes in the description below.
Hey, it's Elsie, and today we're going to be talking about the Goonies.
A huge thank you to Elsie for her intro to the pod today. We specifically got her to record at the end of last term because she is unfortunately going to be moving schools in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
I had the absolute pleasure of working with Elsie for production this year, and she was a superstar. In one of our leading roles for prod as well, and as a Year 7, people were understandably blown away with just how good she was. So we wanted to say a big congratulations to her for that, but also wish her well.
100%. Like, obviously, I didn't get the honour of working with Elsie as much coming into production late on, but it was quite obvious just how assured she was as a performer and really commanding the stage in her role as Fletcher. But also as well, just as an awesome little human being. So,
Yeah.
Whichever board she graces next, that school will be very lucky to have her. Hopefully, we never say never to students coming back, but yeah, she's going to leave a big gap in not just the performing arts community, but just I think in the school as well, because she's an absolute ripper of a kid.
100%. Yeah, you should be super proud of your efforts this year, Elsie. We're certainly very proud of you, but we just want to wish you all the best for the big move. And although we are sad, we know you will fit seamlessly into your new school. So...
And be keeping up with the 5th period, of course.
Oh, of course. But yes, please do come back and visit anytime, and make sure you don't forget about us when you're a big star. Thanks, Elsie. Alrighty, let us jump into The Goonies, aka The Goobers.
That's what the movie should have been called. We basically get launched straight into the action. So obviously, there's a lot of people who've been involved with this film that we've had a little bit to do with in the podcast before. So obviously, it's based on a story from Steven Spielberg. The screenplay's from old mate Christopher Columbus.
He loves to work with the kids.
He really does. And then directed by Richard Donner, who obviously is most known for directing the first two Superman films.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I also missed his name. I knew he was the director, but I couldn't see it in the credits. Like, I saw Chris Columbus come up a couple of times. Spielberg came up a few times. I'm like, wow, they're really like putting those big names out there.
Columbus.
Well, we found the same thing when we were doing Gremlins. They were like, Steven Spielberg presents, and it's like, he didn't direct it, he didn't write it, but...
Well, same thing with Back to the Future as well. Like, I remember talking to some of my students about this, like, what do you mean Steven Spielberg's not the director? And I was like, you idiots, Robert Zemeckis, as I said to a 13-year-old.
Your kids wouldn't have said that. They would have said, what do you mean Steven Spielberg?
No, that's the Year 7s. That's the Year 7s. They always get that one. Definitely has got a bit of that Amblin Entertainment kind of vibe across it.
Well, it is Amblin Entertainment.
But like, it has a very tangible quality, I think, watching this. Yeah. I will say, this is the first time I've seen this film. Obviously, it is a film that is held in very much high regard, I think, by people who are probably 10 years younger than us. Kids who are growing up in the 80s and the early 90s really adored this film, so I probably just missed out, and I'm surprised I didn't see this as a kid because this would be right up my alley, but I'm not watching it from the prism of nostalgia.
No, nor am I. It wasn't my first time watching it, but I didn't watch it as a kid, and to be honest, I didn't really connect with it that much. Like, there were aspects of it that I found too silly, and I can understand that for a kids film you want to include some of that stuff in there, but I didn't feel like this had nearly as much appeal for adults as a lot of the kids' films that I really appreciated growing up.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it had a couple of degrees. It could have just notched up sort of like the darkness of it, or like some sinister aspects of the characters.
As we're about to see, even when they introduce some of the most sinister characters, it's very slapsticky and goofy, and
They're not super threatening.
when they're bumping into each other, it's going like boing.
It is.
Yeah.
So we meet the Fratellis. So they break out Jake, who's played by Robert Davi, who I think is probably my highlight of the film. He plays like one of my favorite Bond villains. He's just a really damn good actor, and he's having a good time in this. But yeah,
He's utilizing his acting skills to pretend that he's hung himself.
He's excellent. He fooled me. But yeah, you got Mama Fratelli, who's played by Anne Ramsey, and then Joe Pantoliano, who's playing Francis, who I know best probably from The Matrix.
Memento for me.
Oh, of course, I have Memento as well. So they'd be the two films that pop out for him. But very iconic, sort of very recognizable looking guy, sort of with his facial expressions and stuff. But yeah, so they break out their brother Jake, and the chase sort of ensues from the cops. And all the kids are basically doing different things during the chase. Like Andy's doing cheerleading, Mouth's fixing the sink, Data has got like a cool invention trying to sort of like lure the bin in, Chunk's eating, and then...
all their iconic things.
Well, basically, they're the defining character traits. And then it finishes up, obviously, with Mikey, old Wheezy Sean Astin, with his older brother Brand, and yeah, Josh Brolin in his film debut.
That's it. Yeah, I really like this little intro. Some of them I think work better than others to introduce the characters. The cheerleading one does feel a little out of place in the middle of the car chase, whereas the other ones, it feels a lot more connected because you meet the characters so quickly afterwards. For Andy, you don't see her for like another 20 minutes after this.
True.
You're kind of like, what? Who were those random cheerleaders we saw?
It's like, oh, that's the love interest. Yes.
Yeah. But whose love interest? Because it shuffles around a bit, but we'll get there. We'll get there. There's some fun moments with it too. Like, I really enjoy Corey Feldman thinks it's on the TV, the car chase. Oh, he's watching the Fratelli, like
Good
TV.
Yeah, we got the Fratellivision.
The Fratellivision. But really enjoy how quickly we get to see Brandon and Mikey's kind of brotherly dynamic. There is a real love there, and like even in some of the sadder moments, we find out the families in the area are in a bit of strife because they're all going to have to foreclose on their homes so that they can make way for... What are they actually building there?
I don't know, some new development.
Oh, they're making a country club.
That's right. That's what rich people do.
They make country clubs by the fishing capital of the world.
Yeah, exactly. The gang sort of come crashing in, sort of literally into Mikey and Brand's home, quite literally with Data flying in with the Bond theme in June. I love that. Ke Huy Quan's like fantastic in this. Like obviously, Short Round is my first introduction to him as an actor, so I hadn't seen him in this before. And I was like, oh, he's hilarious in this.
He's probably the best of the gang in this.
I think so.
Yeah, Corey Feldman's quite good. He always plays this role. Like he's aptly named Mouth in this because he never shuts up.
Yeah.
But he's sassy, and we love a bit of Corey Feldman sass.
We do, and he's being sassy to Chunk, who's trying to get in, and makes him do the truffle shuffle, which is
just a bit of low key bullying amongst friends.
Yeah, that's great. Like just poke fun at the guy's weight. That's cool.
Yeah. I really like the line when Sean Astin says he used the word instead of deluding, and then Josh Brolin corrects him and he says, "It's delude yourself, dummy." That's what I said. So he literally deludes himself into thinking he said delude. Brilliant.
Excellent stuff.
Brilliant. But who designed that gate? Bloody Rube Goldberg? What is going on there?
It's too much just to open a gate.
It's way too much.
With like the chicken and the bowling ball and everything. It's just...
And it doesn't really make sense because is it like Sean Astin that's done it? It would make more sense for Data's house because Data's dad is also an inventor.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sean Astin's dad just is a fuddy-duddy who works at the museum.
Yeah, apparently you can build little machines to open up gates. It's very strange.
It's bad. I didn't like it.
It all go crashing in. Unfortunately, they break a little bit of the statue.
They do? Which part of the statue?
The important part.
Yeah, is that how they refer to it? The old important part.
The old important part. Well... Then they glue it on and it's upside down and it's...
Yeah, it's pretty good. So it's a statue of David and they even say, "That's my mom's favorite part. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't." Got him Got him good. I also like Chunk. We find out that he's a bit of a fibber. He makes up some stories.
Yeah, like that Michael
Fine,
Jackson.
Michael Jackson didn't come over to use the bathroom, but his sister did. And it plays into the story later on because when he tries to call the police, obviously they're not believing him because he makes up a lot of stories. But it's good fun. So yeah, we get to meet them. We can see there's a pretty good dynamic between them.
They're all having good fun. And then Mike's mum comes crashing in.
With
along
Rosalita.
With this, I love how then, because it's like, oh yeah, mouth, you can like translate. And then he's saying the wildest stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's
like the speed's in this drawer and the coat goes in this one.
Yeah. Also, why are they getting Rosalita in? They're about to move house. Is she literally there just to help them pack up their house?
It's like, that's not great use of money.
No.
Guys are struggling for cash.
Mom, what are you doing? Spanish housekeeper in.
She was cheap.
Oh, dear. But she ends up heading back out again, and they go and have a bit of a look in the attic.
Yes.
Because his dad works at the museum, they think there's going to be some cool stuff up there. But we get the story of One-Eyed Willie. And
yes, Brandon's looking at the book at pirates.
Yeah, what was really cool about this, when Sean Astin actually tells this story, it was somewhat improvised. So to give it a real kind of natural quality and like a young, enthusiastic 13, 14-year-old telling this story to his friends, basically what happened was Richard Donner told him the story right before they did the take.
And he's like,
they got him to just tell the story back. So he had to kind of remember the details as he was going through it, as if someone had once told him that story before. It works really, really well, and you do get that sense of enthusiasm, but also kind of trying to remember the details of it all. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I rate it. That's good. But obviously, yeah, Mike finds the map. There's this clear treasure that's being talked about, and basically old Willie, One-Eyed Willie's. He's basically trapped in a cave with his treasure.
Well, how did we not make the reference to Michelangelo losing his One-Eyed Willie?
Gotta hate it when your David falls off.
Yeah, oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Can't put that in there.
Sure we can. Why can't we say that?
Absolutely not.
I think it's fine.
Oh, it's fine. But yeah, Mikey's keen basically to go after the treasure.
Yeah, and no one really believes him.
No, because he's trying to he wants to keep his home and stay with the gang, but the kids aren't keen. Can't stay on the Goondocks.
Yeah, I don't really understand the circumstances in which they're able to foreclose on everyone's house in the area to build the country club. But then if they find some gold, they're going to be good. I don't really get the circumstances surrounding it.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's not overthink it. Cool detail about the treasure map, though. The production designer didn't think it looked old enough as he was working on it. So he wanted to put fake blood in it, but they had run out of red paint. So he actually cut himself so that he could drip real blood on it.
What a boss.
Yeah, I know.
Hopefully okay.
J. Michael River or Riva.
River of Blood.
Yeah, well, nice. Even though they don't believe him, he manages to convince them pretty quickly because they all decide to team up and tie up Brandon
with his exercise equipment that he's stretching, trying to get ready for the date.
He's having a bit of a rough morning.
He's sick of it.
First of all, his mum comes back, does not let him out, and literally shushes him, puts her hand over his mouth. Then he finally gets out, and they've let the air out of his tires.
Metaphorically and literally.
And then bloody Troy rides him off a cliff.
I love it. It's like, I'm going to hit you so hard when you wake up, your clothes will be out of style.
That's a good line. That is a good line.
But yeah, he's intercepted by Andy and Steph, and then also with Troy. And then, he turns him into the kid from Mac and Me by flying him off
the edge. Yeah, it's wild. He looks pretty funny on that bike. It's like Data's sister's bike.
It's hilarious.
It's pretty good.
I highly enjoy it.
Is Andy with Troy? Is Andy with Bran? Is Andy with bloody Mikey? What's going on?
It's a quadruple.
She's all over the place.
It really is.
But the boys end up following the map to the old abandoned restaurant.
Yes, they do, and they instead of finding some lovely Italian dishes, they find some lovely Italian chefs.
Some lovely Fratellian dishes.
Fratellian dishes. That's the Fratellis, and they're kind of feigning ignorance. They're looking after themselves. The kids, they're on the waters, which is good. But Mikey basically goes to the bathroom keen to explore. Or Mouse like asking for all these like Italian dishes.
Yes.
Fettuccine Alfredo. And Robert Darby's just doing the most here because he's like
There's opera singing.
yeah, with sloth and everything. It's just hilarious.
Yes, so we see a chained up, monstrous looking man. He looks like Pluto from The Hills Have Eyes.
True.
But Brandon ends up finding him, bloody Brand, and they all manage to actually leave before getting into too much trouble with the Fratellis.
Yep.
But
Almost kisses Andy twice.
yeah, so Annie and Steph come looking for him because they're a bit apologetic after Troy tried
him
to
off a
kill
cliff.
him.
Yeah.
Jesus, it's bullying to the nth degree.
That's an 80s movie.
He
Bully, if I've ever
longs
seen
for the
it.
days where people made him do the truffle shuffle instead. Yeah, they end up going back in because the Fratellis leave the restaurant and they're like, no, let's go back and explore. So they find a secret tunnel, they find a money printing machine, and most of all, they find a bloody dead body in the freezer.
Yep.
But the Fratellis return shortly after, and they basically have to hide out in the tunnel. Chunk is the only one that doesn't go in the tunnel. He makes a bit of a break for it.
He does.
But I love them arguing over the pizza. Yeah, let's kill each other over a slice of pepperoni.
Start pulling their guns out. It's just very silly. Yeah. And then Chunk escapes and then starts talking to the people behind the car. Be like, oh, it's the Fratellis, but he's talking to the Fratellis.
To the Fratellis, yeah.
And
They're going in and out of that restaurant a lot.
They are just crisscrossing away.
He just sings opera straight back at him.
It's so funny.
What's even funnier is they show him start to sing and then they cut back to the shot of Chunk watching. But the rearview mirror is in the shot and he's clearly not singing.
That's how good of a singer he is.
Yeah,
it's
he
also
can do
ventriloquist
singing.
If we leave this life
dear.
of crime, that could be a fantastic, entertaining troupe.
And we get the pipes in the bathroom scene.
Yeah, which is pretty
Apparently,
funny.
this sequence was directed by Steven Spielberg. There were a couple of scenes that they actually got Spielberg to jump in and direct, and this was one of them. It's really strange. It reminds me a little bit of the scene from It. You know, the stop motion of the bathroom where, like, the tiles peel apart and he comes out and there's, like, the shower nozzles and stuff. It feels very much like that.
And then you got old mate in the eye patch in the showers. It's so weird. That's One-Eyed Willie. He's escaped. And you've got one eye and he's Willie in the shower. Can't have that in there.
No, I can keep that in.
No, please don't.
Yeah, I can.
No, don't do it. No.
Oh, dear. And is that Troy that's in the bathroom and just basically gets shot
and then
up
he's
through
like,
the roof?
Daddy! It's just like, what? He's not going to help you in the bathroom, brother. And he's reading this, like, gun magazine. He's like, I'm a man. I like running people off cliffs and firing my gun. Like, it's just what a sequence.
He's got some of the worst moments. Anyway, Chunk is being brought back to the Fratelli's lair.
And
he confesses
everything.
Not just about the treasure, everything he's ever done in his life. And then back down in the tunnel, Spielberg has a bit of an indie moment here. This is the booty traps coming out.
True. They're slowing them down. And they find Chester Copperpot's skeleton and everything.
Oh, the bats look hilarious. So bad. Apparently they were bow ties shot out of an air cannon. That's why they look so terrible.
You know what the dress code was for that function? Bat tie.
Oof.
Yes. But yes, they keep finding the booty traps. Bats ahoy. And then I love the fact that Chunks then starts talking about his like fake throwing up in the cinema and then like pretending to throw up and then throwing it onto the audience. But Roberto Darby's just like eating it up. Not the fake vomit, but the story. He's like, this kid's hilarious. We should keep him. He should be part of our act. He can open up with some comedy.
Mikey and Andy end up holding hands at this point. And it's really weird. There's this kind of lingering, ongoing thing between Mikey and Andy. And it gets a lot worse than this. But
Both it does.
I don't understand it. There is a huge age gap. It's like 13 to 19.
It's weird.
It's real strange. And that's actually the age gap in real life as well. Yeah, it's weird. But anyway,
They find a wishing well.
they sure do.
And the mouse wish didn't come true.
Yeah.
And it's like a big moment. And
It's
then it never really sort of gets
kind of
played.
like dark, that moment.
Yeah.
As
And I'm
if-
like, oh, this is interesting. And
Yeah.
then never again.
Yeah, that's true. Troy's above him, though.
Yeah, and he's being a
And
doucher.
He is being an absolute douche. And he's talking about, like, getting Andy. And it's so funny, because Data calls out. He goes, that sounds like Andy. It's clearly Data that's calling out.
It's like Kihi Kwan is not playing Andy.
He sounds like Andy, though, apparently, according to Troy. But they end up sending Andy's jacket up because old Sean Astin gives a big speech about them being Goonies. Because this is when Andy's like, I'm not a Goonie, I'm going home. And then he's like, no, we're all Goonies. And
You goon this way, I'll go home.
But they end up sending up Andy's jacket.
And
for
then
some
Troy's
reason.
like, Andy, you goonie!
His delivery in this movie is weird.
Horrendous. And in the meantime, Chunk's hanging out with Sloth.
He is, yes, because they've locked him away with him, and we find out that he's a bit of a gentle giant. He ends up being Jake's brother. He basically befriends Chunk and breaks him out.
Yeah.
They
Like
share
the
a little candy bar.
The old Babe Ruth.
They get very close very quickly, hand feeding each other candy bars and telling each other they love them.
Yeah, real close mates. Data takes like the fan after the booty trap and like sort of falls, and then like he's got his teeth grappling hook as well. It's just good fun.
Yeah, it is good. Chunk tries to call the cops, but they
little-
don't believe him. We
good
get
Gremlins reference.
Gremlins,
Yeah.
yeah. So obviously both Spielberg and Chris Columbus associated with Gremlins, but there's a lot of self-referential stuff in this, and we'll get to maybe one of the biggest ones a little bit later on. Yeah, Mikey sets off another trap, and I'll tell you, it looks like whoever built this cave is the same guy that built his front gate, because it's the exact same thing with a bowling ball coming down a mechanism.
One-Eyed Willie built their house.
It's a bit like in Austin Powers with the steamroller. No! It's like we've set off a booby trap, but it's
10
not
minutes
actually going
later.
to go off for ages. Oh, dear. But they take a little pee break, and I love the line where he's like, this is a little boy's room, and this is a little girl's room. Where are you going? The men's room.
It's like, oh, okay. Righto, big man.
He goes in there, and then, Daddy!
Get his magazine.
Oh, but here's where the real weird moment happens.
Oh.
Andy accidentally kisses Mikey. I didn't know Brand wore braces.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, they did check
Yuck.
out. There's like, there's a few holes in around in here. I think Brand was standing in one.
Oh my god, they put in about every line they can to tip her off.
And then Steph's like, you kissed a child.
Yeah.
Without telling her, basically. It's like, how was that, huh? Huh?
You can imagine what it'd be like.
Don't imagine it. It happened. You know the guy you like? He kissed his younger brother.
Yuck. Yuck is. Anyway, the bad guys catch up to them.
They go into the skull.
Yeah, because obviously, in addition to confessing to everything in his life, Chunks told him about the treasure, so they're
Obviously.
going after. Bloody Data uses his slick shoes.
The slick shoes on the bridge is pretty cool.
But the way that they slip, do an entire flip, and then still land on the bridge.
Sweetheart, are you okay? No. It's good fun. And Andy's time to shine because they're going to play the bones.
But how can she shine? Because it's pitch black in there. That is the most well-lit pitch black room I've ever seen. She literally goes in like this. It's pitch black in here. You can see everything.
I mean, she couldn't identify the brothers. She can't see anything.
Yeah.
Her eyesight's terrible. We've established this.
Clearly. But Brant's even got a giant torch next to her when she says it.
What do you mean?
It's amazing that they don't
You have a
light,
concussion.
It's amazing they don't light that dynamite up earlier.
True. The Data's fighting off the Fratellis with like the different gadgets. But yeah, Andy's got to play like the notes on the back of the map to unlock.
Yeah, it's like a bone piano.
Yeah.
It's nothing like a Steinway at home.
No.
But she makes a lot of mistakes.
She really kills almost the entire gang.
She's no Liberace, I'll tell you that much.
She's terrible.
But Mikey believes in her. And this is the other thing about like this story. They keep having moments between them where like he's talking her up. It's like they're setting it up that he's going to be the better one for her than Brand.
Than the more age-appropriate choice.
Yeah, which obviously that never actually happens. But
Thank
yeah.
God.
I do love the line though where he says, If you get any more wrong notes, we'll all be flat.
Doom.
Doom, doom.
And then kills everyone at the same time to make the joke. Sorry, I had to.
That's one of those jokes that doesn't really play in an audio-only podcast, does it?
No, it's just you
Playing a
doing
piano
this.
whilst making drum noises. It's like one of those electronic keyboards where you dum dum tss, dum.
Oh, anyway.
Oh, God.
They slide down a very fun theme park ride.
This was they got like a real water park in to build it. And
pretty good.
There's a rumor, I don't think it's confirmed, but there was a rumor that Richard Donner and the crew would like slide down it at the end of the day.
To get the set, yeah.
So like they would wrap shooting for the day and be like, let's all go to the water slide.
Great day at work, guys. Enjoy yourself.
Woo!
But they find the pirate ship.
They do. One-Eyed
Very,
Willie's ship.
Very Uncharted 4, Thief's End.
Yes, it is. Another thing about their first like sighting of the ship, the kids weren't allowed to see it, so that they got a real reaction when they did it. And Josh Brolin's first reaction to it was to say the F word. And so even though they'd gone to that much effort to get a genuine reaction, his genuine reaction wasn't appropriate for the film and they had to reshoot it.
That's hilarious.
It's so funny. And Sean Astin was like really insulted. He's like, we're actors. Even though he's a kid, he's like, we're actors. Why can't
Unprofessional man.
Why can't we just act? Why do you have to keep it from us so that you're getting genuine reactions?
Sean Astin cracked it.
Yeah.
Come on, Andy, we're going home.
Yuck.
But yeah, they find One-Eyed Willie, and they're going to basically take, their earnings and the plunder.
Few breakdowns in this scene. First, Data falls through the ship, and he has like a full breakdown because he's just like muttering to himself, and he's like, "Oh, this isn't going to work, and that's not going to work." And then everyone just starts attacking Sean Astin.
Oh yeah, because he's too busy having a chin wag with
Where's the
One-Eyed Willie.
gold? Where's the gold? He
like,
got you
settle
this
down.
far. Jeez, give him 2 more seconds. He'll find it.
And he does. But then Mikey says like they don't touch the scales basically, and that's for One-Eyed Willie. But they take everything else.
Thank God, because it sets off a booby trap later on. Actually, it does set off a booby trap later on, but there's no payoff to what it does. The Fratelli set it off later, but we just see a mechanism move and then nothing happens.
Okay. Does that cause them to fall into the water or something?
No,
Okay.
they end up jumping in later.
Yeah. Anyway, the Fratellis are here.
They are. Just as they're loading up on gold, they have to hand it all over. Mouth, he's packing, he's got a lot in his mouth, was not multiple takes. It does cut away in it, but apparently Corey Feldman could actually fit all of those in his mouth at one time.
Incredible.
It's ridiculous. That string of pearls is friggin' huge.
He's a weird man, Corey Feldman.
He sure is. But we love him.
And he's got to walk the plank as well. It's all happening, but...
Yeah, she goes, I can't swim with my hands tied. Why not? Your legs aren't tied. You can still kick.
It's harder.
Yeah, I guess. But Bran jumps in after her.
He does, and then Sloth to the rescue with Chunk.
With Captain Chunk.
Hey, you guys!
He swings down, saves Steph and Mouth from the plank, brings them back, and then everyone runs to the plank and jumps in. Seems a little counterintuitive.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
But it's not normal sloth. It's bloody super sloth. And we get a very clear reference to Richard Donner's film Superman.
It's so ridiculous. It's like, yep, it's this
Is it a
film
bird?
too.
Is it a plane? No, it's super sloth. He ties up the brothers and throws his mum overboard because she dropped him on his head as a kid.
Yeah, terrible mum,
dark-
Fratelli.
Are they suggesting that's why he looks like that?
How hard did she drop him?
Jesus, it's dark.
It is.
Oh well, he's about to be adopted into a much nicer family.
Agreed. But yeah, Sloth takes his revenge, and the kids are trying to escape while the Fratellis are trying to fill their pockets.
And they set off the dynamite.
Yes, and it blows a hole in the old architecture.
And Sloth has to kind of keep it wedged open as they escape. It seems like it's going to be a sad moment where he dies or gets trapped in there, but no, he's all good. They come out a little bit later.
Honestly, that was one thing I thought that this film needed. Someone needed to die.
Was
Just to
ready to.
add to the stakes, I think.
Troy could have died
If only.
on the toilet,
On the toilet.
just like Elvis.
That's Oh, daddy!
Mama.
Mama, daddy!
Anyway, so they go out on the beach, and then the cops turn up on their, like, ATV... I was going to say their ATV vehicles. No, that's what the V stands for. But he's like, it's the Goobers. They weren't here a minute ago. Well, they're here now. What kind of dialogue is that? They just came from around the corner. They're just doing...
Yeah, that's their
They're just
circuit.
doing doughies on the beach. I also don't understand why the news turns up. Haven't they only been gone a couple hours?
Yeah,
Maybe overnight.
maybe overnight. It's hard. I think overnight, yeah, because we see when they're in the wishing bowl, that's all.
Oh, yeah, that's darker. But, yeah, it's very strange. How...
Then they have this really weird, awkward chat about kissing and puberty and stuff.
Oh, that's between our favourite couple of the film.
Oh, God.
It's a little bit weird. What's more weird is that the parents are watching on, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they watch their other son full-on make out. Josh Brolin is going to town.
This is my first film
They
role.
just watch, and they're like, yeah.
My man.
Let her mother worry about it. We're good. Absentee parents, deadbeat parents.
Indeed. The Fratellis are arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Sloth saved by Chunk and goes to live with him because they love each other.
Yeah, what is that about? I don't think Chunk has the authority to be able to adopt this man. I think he might need more care than Chunk can provide.
I think so too.
I do quite like some of the cuts between the families when they're all like talking at the same time. Like Data and his dad, that's pretty funny. And then the cut to like Steph, I lost my glasses.
Just Velmering it up here.
Mouth and Steph also have a moment. And
Yeah.
again, is that like a 19-year-old and a 13-year-old?
Yes.
What is going on in this community?
In this community. And then Troy and his dad rock up and they suck.
Troy and who?
Daddy! His daddy! Rock up.
Yep. And
They're basically there to spoil the party.
Mikey's dad says that lame line about them not needing all the jewels because now that they have their sons back, they're the richest people in Astoria.
Oh wait, I've got gems. Rosalina finds the gems. Scratch what I said about my kids. I got money.
There'll be no more signing today or ever again. And they rip it up, throw it up in the air.
The cash is enough to negotiate. The inferno, the ship is loose, and the movie's over.
Yeah, yep, we got there. Even in this scene, Data's talking about the scariest part being when the octopus attacked. That's a deleted scene.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Is it a bit janky?
Yes. It's all a practical effect, but it's yet another moment of inappropriateness between the couples because Steph thinks that it's Mouth brushing up against her leg.
So like, you know what? That's probably one too many in the film.
Yeah. There's more than one too many.
There's 17.
It's a strange ending with the boat just finding its own way out of the cave and going off into the sunset. And everyone just leaving it to do that, despite the fact that it has so much gold on it.
Agreed. It's just like no one wants to go after that bad boy. Nah. we got family. We got the Goondocks.
We got the Goobers.
We got the Goobers. We've got the Stubers. We've got everything. Not watching this film with the prism of nostalgia. Also watched it when I was real tired last night. There's definitely some charming qualities to this film.
You gave it a 4 on Letterboxd there.
I give lots of things 4s on Letterboxd.
I know. It renders your entire ranking system redundant.
Yeah. I did think about a 3.5, so that was very close to being a 3. I might change it to 3.5, and I do change my rating sometimes. I had a good enough time with this film. I just wanted more. I think...
I wanted less.
Hey, you guys! But yeah, you can definitely tell this is like a Columbus Spielberg effort.
A Columbus Spielberg lack of effort.
Lack of effort. It just needed like a little bit more punch, I think, for the stakes to be raised. I think it gets a little bit too silly. We talked about it at the top of the episode. So
yeah, the bad guys remind me of... Do you remember that movie, Baby's Day Out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, in fact, one of the bad guys is one of the guys from Baby's Day Out.
Of course.
Memento Man. What's his name?
Joe Pantolino.
Is it?
Joey Jojo.
Joey Jojo. It doesn't matter.
We should do Baby's Day Out on the podcast.
I wouldn't mind that, to be honest.
Term 4.
That does, for me, have a lot of nostalgia, so
Me too.
I'm on board.
I'd be doing something like that, or Blank Check, getting even with Dad.
Blank Check, doesn't that also have an inappropriate kiss between agents?
Hell yeah, it does.
Jesus.
It's another real weird Disney film. It's just like, why is that child dating that, like, young woman?
Was it just an era of movies?
Maybe. They were just like, that checks out. I was like, no, it doesn't. It's weird.
That blank checks out.
I've blanked out of that era of cinema.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. All right, shall we move on to our weekly watches?
Sure.
Weekly watches, weekly watches. I love you.
I'm going to kick things off with one that I watched just in the last couple of days, and it's called A Real Pain. You familiar with this one? It's the one that was written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg, and it stars Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin.
I know of it.
It's really good. So it's basically about two cousins who go on a Jewish heritage tour in Poland. Their grandmother has passed away recently, and they do it almost in her honor. But there's kind of distance between the cousins. They used to be closer. There's, like, I'm not going to go into details or, like, specifics about what's happened, but there's just been some unfortunate events that have occurred in their lives. And so it's kind of like them coming back together and bonding over this shared traumatic experience. And yeah, it's just really good performances.
Because, like, didn't Kieran Culkin win an Oscar for this?
He very well may have. Yeah. He certainly deserved to. But they're both really good in their own way. Like, both of the characters that they're playing are very different, but I've found them both really likable. Not a lot happens, but at the same time, it feels like a lot happens because emotionally a lot happens. And it's quite a complex film when you start to actually break down these characters and the relationship between them and how they kind of see the world. And it has sort of a open-ended kind of finish as well. But just for the performances alone, just
worth a go.
Really, really well done.
Nice one. That sounds good. Started smashing through a few horror movies. I did get to finally watch Insidious, which I did enjoy. I'll briefly mention that.
The one with a tiptoe through the tulips?
Yep. Yeah. Definitely elements of that film I really enjoyed. It feels very different to some of the other 2010s sort of horror films that were coming out around the same time.
It feels pretty similar to The Conjuring, though.
Or similar time that that film came out, and
similar cast.
Yeah, I was going to say Patrick Wilson's in both of those films.
But I just felt like in terms of there's less of those jump scares and more of that eeriness too.
For Conjuring or Insidious?
Both.
I thought Insidious was a bit jump scare heavy sometimes.
I am specifically thinking of the sequence. That's Rose Byrne, yeah?
Yeah.
Where she walks through the house and you see that someone's in the house. And it's just like, they don't make a big deal out of it. It's not a jump scare, but it's just like, if you catch it, then you're like, oh, that freaked me out.
Yeah. There's definitely some unsettling moments in it, and I did enjoy it. And I'm keen to sort of like knock over that franchise plus The Conjuring as well eventually, particularly with the new Conjuring film out. But I'll very quickly briefly mention that one because I'd rather talk about this other film that I highly enjoyed watching the night before last, and that's Cooties.
Love Cooties.
I had a great time with this film. This has been on my list for a while of things to watch. I think I've talked about it a couple of times. I'm not like a big Office guy, so I don't like have like an extreme affinity to watch anything with Rainn Wilson in it. Not just because I haven't watched The Office a lot, so...
He certainly wasn't the draw card for me watching.
No, I really like Elijah Wood in horror films. I think that's it's been like part of his sweet spot, I think, post Lord of the Rings. It's been really cool. Mm-hmm. And it's just really funny. There's a lot of horror comedies that are made that are not funny, and this is like gut-bustingly funny. Delivery between the characters, like you've got Elijah Wood, Alison Pill, who's really good, who I really enjoyed in Heroes and Scott Pilgrim. Jack McBrayer, Nassim Pedrad, and then Lee Winnell is so funny.
Did he write it or direct it?
I think he might have written it. He didn't. I don't think he directed it.
It's got his quality to it.
Yeah.
Like, he has a very distinct comedic style, and you can see that in it. I am really glad he decided to be in it too. Like, obviously he does a lot more stuff behind the scenes now, but his role is one of my favorite roles.
Yeah, he wrote and produced it, so.
Yeah. I really like these kind of horror comedy movies. It's similar sort of vibe to like Slither or a lot of those like teen vampire movies as well. Yeah, really fun.
Yeah, and it's just like a simple kind of like zombie sort of plot line, but obviously with like the school setting, particularly as teachers, like there's some affinity there and like, you know, some common ground. Some of the lines and stuff like that are quite funny, talking about sort of teaching and stuff. But yeah, all the characters are really likable. You root for them. You want them to survive, both the adults and then the couple of surviving kids that are hanging around as well. And it's just a fun setting as a sandbox to play in. And then when they sort of go to the outer city and stuff like that at the end of the film as well. It's just, yeah, like I had a really good time like laughing along with this. Pretty good pack effects as well.
It's pretty gory.
Yeah, and I think it balances the horror and comedy very successfully. And yeah, definitely one of the better zombie films that I've watched in a while. So yeah, Cooties, check it out.
Nice. Next, I'm going to talk about two kind of comedy ones that I watched. So the first one is Honey Don't. That's the new Chris Evans one, Margaret Qualley, Aubrey Plaza. Really, really funny. So it's not the Coen brothers. It's one of the Coen brothers. I'm not sure which one. It's got that comedic style to it. I really, really liked the dialogue. I found it super witty. I didn't connect with the story as much because there is a little bit of a mystery, or like, as the Coen brothers often do, there's like a complicated web of interplay, and some things are attached to other things, but then it might not necessarily be connected to what you think it is. The mystery element didn't land as much for me, but just the witty dialogue and how fast-paced it was great. And having Chris Evans play such a dirtbag in it, it's my favorite role to see him in.
He looks like he always relishes those roles too.
Oh, and it was kind of like the roles that he did play before he was Captain America, and then people could only see him as this really upstanding citizen. And so now going back to those roles, I think he's having a lot of fun.
Yeah, like playing like Ransom in Knives Out, a good example of that as well. But yeah, I think I'm enjoying some of the decisions that he's been making sort of post-Marvel, which have been pretty good. So this has been on my list as well to check out, so it's worth a watch.
But the other comedy one that I watched was F, Marry, Kill, which is about a woman who has recently gotten out of a relationship, or she feels like she is ready to step back into the dating pool and starts going on the apps. But she's also listening to a podcast about someone who is killing people, and the link between them is people on the apps.
Oh,
and
that's
so
fun.
She starts dating these three guys simultaneously, and they all can potentially be the killer.
Oh.
And it's sort of like, ooh, who's it going to be? And every time she thinks it's one person, the other one does something that's a little bit more sinister. And yeah, it's good fun. Even though it's got elements of horror in it, I would say it's a comedy for sure.
Okay.
And yeah, it was just lighthearted fun.
Nice. Sounds like an easy watch. Next up, I'm going to talk about a double feature that you and I did over the holidays. Let's end with the palate cleanser. So your first pick of movies to watch, which I didn't want to go near.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
No,
we often, when we catch up over the break, we will do a double feature, and we get to select one of the films each.
And you being a big Ice Cube fan.
No, don't. I was steadfastly against watching War of the Worlds.
Starring Ice Cube. I think executive produced by the same guy who has done like a few of these types of films. I really liked Searching, if you've seen with John Cho.
I haven't. Look, I don't like this style of film anyway. What's it actually called?
I don't know.
But it's when the entire film happens on a computer
screen,
monitor.
Basically. I will say that like the John Cho one, great film, like proper thriller.
I have heard that is the way to do it. But
this is not the way to do it.
Oh, no.
This film, it might be the worst film we've ever seen.
But I understand the appeal for you. I get why you wanted to watch it, because sometimes it can be fun to watch a bad film.
Particularly, I wanted to watch this with another person, so just to see the general kind of experience.
Yeah.
But it really melted your brain.
It really did, and usually I can get more enjoyment out of how bad something is, but I got no enjoyment out of this. I wrote a savage review on Letterboxd. So yeah, we always include our Letterboxd names in the description. So feel free to check out what I thought of War of the Worlds. But
it's some of the worst acting I've ever seen. Like the product placement for Amazon, Ice Cube like reacting to things on a screen while seeing the actual green screen and the reflection of his glasses.
It was bad.
The siege was not good.
Him saying, "Move, bitch, get out the way." Come on.
That's not even his song.
Yeah.
That's Ludacris's. It's a
The
ludicrous film.
whole movie was ludicrous.
That's what the film needed, was Ludacris just popping up as like, I'm here to save the day. But yeah, just like Ice Cube yelling at his kids to move. It's just, it was, sometimes some of the things he was saying were just like out of control.
It was so bad. He'd hang up the phone to his kids so he could then write them an email.
If you feel like sort of, just subjecting yourself to this film just to know what we went through,
Don't do it.
give it a crack.
No.
Make it a fun evening for yourself. But thankfully, the film that you picked is a film that I hadn't seen. A lot of the time, actually, I will say that of the things that you recommend me, one of the things that I quite often look forward to you recommending is your comedies, because you've got a bit more sort of basis in comedy than I have. And this was a great film, Bowfinger.
Very fun.
I had a really good time with this film. I think the premise is fantastic. The fact that, you've got this sort of struggling kind of person in Hollywood who's trying to make it big and then basically has to film without someone else's permission while still capturing them, I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
Jamie Kennedy, Christine Baranski having a great time, Heather Graham, and then Eddie
Steve
Murphy.
Martin and Eddie Murphy in the leading roles.
And that's all you need. And Frank Oz with some just really good direction. I think the premise of the film is really inventive and fun. You get 2 Eddie Murphys, which is always good.
Oh, and the contrast between them, just that voice that he's putting on it is the other one. It's awesome. Just awesome.
Yeah.
Really good.
This is a great film.
This has always been one of my fave comedies. I love me some Steve Martin, and this one and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels was always ranked amongst the top growing up.
Yeah, still got to watch Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. It's on the list. So.
Next time you come over, mate, you just got to have your Ice Cube film lined up, ready to go.
Are we done yet?
God.
The sequel.
No. Next up for me, I saw the new I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh.
Surprisingly all right.
Was it?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
Okay, and look, the reviews weren't great for it. So hence
Even
why
from horror people.
Yeah, I went in expecting it to not be great. I really liked the original I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Me too.
I also don't really mind the sequel. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Is that the one with Jack Black?
Jack Black. No, he's in Don't You Think I'll Be Forget What You Did Last Summer. Too much?
Yeah, too many words in the title, I think.
No, that's what they just keep adding to it.
I don't know what you think you know you did last summer.
I know that you know what I did last summer. Anyway, I didn't mind it. I thought the new cast was really good. I thought some of the attacks were fun. There were some good chases, which was some of the stuff that I think has been lacking from the more recent Scream franchise.
We love a good chase.
Yeah, they've been good with their suspense, but not as good with their chase sequences. A little bit better in number 6 than number 5. But this one had some good chases. I just really liked the cast. I thought their dialogue felt quite natural, which you don't usually get in these sorts of films. The dialogue feels either expositional, explaining too much of what is going on, or characters aren't reacting the way that people would usually talk in the scenarios that they're in. But these guys have a kind of fun balance between the jokey aspect behind it, but then also when it starts to get serious, they react how you probably would in this heightened situation. Nice to see some familiar faces in it from the original franchise as well. There are certainly some choices in it that I don't agree with.
That's fair.
But I also think it's taken some pretty big swings in some of those choices as well, which I like because these can become quite formulaic, and if things get too predictable, it does zap some of the fun out of it. I never took this franchise nearly as seriously as I took the Scream franchise, so for them to be a little goofy and ridiculous and over the top.
Kind of like Urban Legend.
Well, exactly right. You can go into this and have a bit of fun.
Okay, we like that.
Yeah.
We like that. My last one to talk about was a very unexpected treat. what's this Dark Age? I've never heard of this before. Had a bit of a look at it, and I got hooked really, really quickly. So it's like a Ozploitation film. Very much, a lot of films that were coming out around this time. This is coming out in, 87? Very much like Jaws, but put it somewhere else. Environment in question is the outback, and the creature in question is a mythically large crocodile. But what this film does so well is, like, very quickly you kind of work out, it's like, oh, there's layers to this. Like, it's got elements of schlock, there's certain grittiness and a kind of rawness to the filmmaking, which I think is really good. It's done by Arch Nicholson, who worked on Razorback, which I think is a really fantastic Australian horror film as well. But this film has got a lot to it because of how it frames Indigenous perspectives. I don't think it's a secret that Australian Indigenous representation in cinema has not always been the best thing in the world. But I think it's done really well in this film, and I think it adds a lot of thematic detail to the film, because the crocodile is like a mythical creature, a part of, the Dreamtime and the environment. And really, this film really highlights the connection between, Indigenous Australians and the land and how important that is. It paints two main Indigenous characters as incredibly intelligent, that they sort of drive things forward. And it means that, like, the villains of this film are not only just sort of, your standard poachers and hunters looking to kill sort of like an animal or trying to take over the town and stuff. You get a lot of this sort of colonialist, like really disgusting racist behavior that comes across in a lot of it really clearly in what they're doing and trying to not just eliminate sort of a crocodile, but also as well drive out people from the land as well. It makes the film like a lot more effective and a lot heavier going than what could be just a simple monster movie, which I really enjoyed. John Jarratt plays the main character, and I think he's really good in the film, and he's kind of like torn between, like, he's someone who kind of liaises with Indigenous people, but then he's also got some ties like to law enforcement and protecting people as well. So this film has just got like a lot to it, and I think, and outside of the fact, super well shot, the creature effects like are a little bit goofy at stages, but still like hold enough tension. The score's like interesting. Like I wrote probably like the longest like review I've ever done on Letterboxd, like a proper like essay like responding to this film, because I found it just like really effective and moving and like quite surprising, I think, for what it is. So yeah, this is kind of my new film to recommend to people, particularly for spooky season.
Yeah, nice.
Worth checking out.
Awesome. I'm going to finish with Alice in Borderland. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but we were talking about it yesterday briefly.
Yeah, so your main characters are set in Tokyo. I'd say it has a bit of a Squid Game vibe in that the characters are made to play games, and essentially the cost of losing the games is that they lose their life. So very Squid Game in that vein.
Okay.
I would say if you like Squid Game, it's going to be a nice one to kind of transition across to. It's also, for me, one of the things about Squid Game is obviously the games themselves are very compelling, but it's a lot of character development as well, and the characters' connections between them, and they're also not afraid to kill off characters. And I would say a lot of those similar themes across both of these shows. And for me, I might even like Alice in Borderland more. I really connected with the characters. I found the games themselves more compelling. And there's also a lot more of them. Especially early on in the show, they would do sort of a game per episode, which you don't always get for Squid Game.
True.
And I think it's a good way to pull you into the world of it, because you kind of have something that you're like, oh, I'm interested to see what the next game is going to be. And so as you are still getting to know those characters, you can rely more on those more engaging, exciting moments that have the thrills and the spills. But also, it will take some big chances, and you might lose some favorites pretty early on.
Okay.
That's a really interesting part of it too, because you're like, where's it going to go from here? What's going to happen?
Who are you supposed to follow?
Exactly right. It's a little goofy in its effects at times, but once you kind of settle into that world and that suspension of disbelief and what the world actually is, it kind of makes more sense that it would be a little bit like that.
Yep.
There's a lot of ambiguity around what's going on, why it's happening for the longest time in the show. And I ended up smashing through 3 full seasons of it. And I'm now a bit like with Squid Game, when they wrapped up season 3, it's like, I want to know what's going to happen next. And I don't necessarily think that they are going to do a season 4. It doesn't seem like it's been renewed for that. But season 3 has just come out, so if there's enough popularity, who knows, they might bring it back based on like a manga. I believe that's wrapped up. The narrative of that has wrapped up. So, yeah, if they were doing more, they would be doing it off the cuff. They might end up doing a US spin-off similar to what Squid Game's going to do.
True.
So, yeah, it's really interesting. But I loved the show. I really loved the characters. It was such a pleasant surprise because it was one of those things that I put on quite tentatively and went, I'll just give it a go. And then was instantly hooked. Yeah.
Does it have, like, obviously with the name, does it have much sort of, like, shared lineage with, like, I don't know, any of the games sort of, like, Alice in Wonderland inspired?
There are definitely moments where you can see connections with that.
Because I really love, like, Alice in Wonderland, so.
Okay, the big thing that has a bit of a crossover that the games are associated with suits of cards.
Okay.
And so you obviously have the queen. At one point, it's kind of like the Red Queen, and she's surrounded by white roses, and they're playing croquet. There's like references to that.
Yep.
But also each of the suits has like its own symbol in the game. And so it's like if you're playing clubs, then it's going to be a team-based game. If you're playing diamonds, then it's about wits. And if it's hearts, it's like, oh, you're going to be breaking some hearts in this game. So yeah, I really liked that because the players don't necessarily know what they're in for until they step into the game. Highly encourage it for everyone.
For one for all.
That's it. As always, guys, please do remember to like, subscribe, share it around, and make sure you are commenting with ideas for future Segamontes that you would like us to be doing or future films that you would like us to tackle.
And particularly because we're about to embark on a spooky season.
And
we're going to have
love it.
4 weeks in a row of spooky films.
I feel like we can stretch it out. Let's do 5.
5 weeks in a row of spook. That's real spooky.
And on that note, guys, I'm afraid we do have to head off. But like Andy says, we're not Goonies. We want to go home. Thanks, everyone, and catch you at the next film club.